got an Oscar.
In his Netflix documentary, Being Eddie, Eddie Murphy discusses the experience of not winning an Oscar in 2007 when he was nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
Eddie Murphy in Dreamgirls.
Going into the Oscars, Eddie was the favorite to win because he'd won the Golden Globe for his performance, and he'd also won the Screen Actors Guild Award for his performance. And yeah, history told us that when an actor wins both those awards, they usually win the Oscar. Not all the time, but they usually win the Oscar. Now in the documentary, Eddie makes note of the film that came out 2 weeks before the Oscars, Norbit.
It came out right at the time when you would be campaigning for your Oscar. It's just, up the water.
The film got bad reviews, but it exceeded expectations at the box office, making $34 million in its opening weekend. And then in its second weekend, it held up well, making another $20 million.
Welcome back last year's Best Supporting Actress for The Constant Gardener, Rachel Weisz.
Then 2 weeks later, it was Oscar night, and Eddie put on his tux and headed to the Kodak Theater and watched Rachel open that envelope.
And the Oscar goes to...
Now, Rachel did actually say Alan Arkin's name out loud during the ceremony.
And the Oscar goes to... Alan Arkin in Little Miss Sunshine.
But I really like Being Eddie director Angus Wall's decision to lose the audio in that moment, because it reminded me of Jennifer Lopez's documentary Halftime in 2022. And a big portion of that documentary focused on Jennifer's award season run with Hustlers, where she didn't ultimately get an Oscar nomination. And she did get a Golden Globe nomination, but lost to Laura Dern.
For Hustlers. And the Golden Globe goes to Laura Dern.
And I found seeing the reaction of Jennifer's team and stuff like that in that documentary that Laura Dern came off as the villain a little bit. I don't think that was Jennifer's intention at all. But yeah, it just came off that way a little to me.
I really thought I had a chance. And then it was like, nope.
So I like this idea of, yeah, we do see Alan Arkin's name on the screen, but it's not about Alan Arkin winning. It's about Eddie losing and his perspective on that. Like, it didn't matter who Eddie lost to, it was that he lost. That's his experience. Now, as Eddie sat there, instead of accepting an Oscar, he was probably thinking what he said on stage at the Oscars 18 years prior.
I know how it feels to be a loser. I know you got your tux on and you feel real stupid right now.
Now, the supporting actor category is one of the first presented that year. And Eddie did not sit there feeling stupid. He noticeably left the ceremony after his category.
Not winning the Oscar or not winning anything is not the mind for me. The mind for me is that I get dressed and come to the thing, because I would usually not go to award shows.
So I guess Eddie didn't leave because he was a poor sport. Eddie left because he thought, well, my part's over. Why am I going to sit here for another 2 hours? Bye. I mean, I get that, but once again, like, rather self-centered and rude. Because, like, I mean, imagine if everyone in that theater just got up and left after their category. It's ridiculous.
I'm never like, oh, I didn't win. I'm like, hey, you ain't come down here for nothing.
I mean, that's rather self-centered, Eddie, because, like, everyone got dressed up and came to the theater. You don't get awarded for just doing that.
That's whenever I lose, I'm like, these motherfuckers made me come all the way down. I could have lost at home. I'm all the tuxedo and the waste of time.
Ironically, Eddie won his first Emmy at home.
Thank you to everybody at the Emmys. Thank you so much for giving me an Emmy. I don't have an Emmy. This is 40 years since I started Saturday Night Live. This is my first Emmy, so thank you so much.
Yeah, in 2020, he won Outstanding Guest Actor in a Comedy Series for when he hosted SNL 2019.
And thank you to everybody for giving me an Emmy.
And yeah, even though his hosting of Saturday Night Live in 2019 is a huge part of the documentary, it's the climax of the movie, him winning an Emmy for it is not mentioned, nor is his Grammy win mentioned. We do see his Screen Actors Guild Award on screen, along with his Mark Twain Prize for American Comedy, but the one award that Eddie talks about on camera is the one he doesn't have.
And I haven't got an Oscar. I haven't got an Oscar.
And I also don't believe that Eddie Murphy doesn't care that he doesn't have an Oscar, because yeah, in this documentary, he sure makes it a point of saying he doesn't have an Oscar. And actually, I remember going into the Oscars, I didn't think Eddie Murphy was going to win. Not because of Norbit, but because of Dreamgirls. Like, Dreamgirls didn't get a Best Picture nomination. And I remember reading some trivia that, like, only once, or maybe it never happened, I can't remember. But yeah, extremely rare for a film to win both supporting acting categories when it doesn't have a Best Picture nomination. And Jennifer Hudson was a shoo-in for Best Supporting Actress. Yeah, she was going to win that category. So yeah, if voters are looking at it as, oh, I don't want to give 2 acting awards to Dreamgirls for an all-right movie, then yeah, you're not going to vote for Eddie Murphy for Best Supporting Actor. Yeah, Eddie Murphy was fine. And yeah, he would have been a worthy winner, but I mean, Yeah, looking at Little Miss Sunshine, he was the Best Picture nominee. Yeah, Dreamgirls wasn't. But yeah, I don't think Eddie Murphy was robbed of an Oscar of Dreamgirls. I think he would have been a worthy winner, but yeah, Alan Arkin was a more worthy winner, I think. What are your thoughts?